All right. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to this live edition of No Credentials Required. We are brought to you by Billy Up Sports in association with Godzilla Media. It's going to be a very abbreviated version of the show tonight because the New York Jets are currently playing the Atlanta Falcons in a preseason game, and I kind of want to see what the Jets are going to do. So please allow me to have an abbreviated version. We'll do a live version next week where I'll be on location. I will be on vacation in the Outer Banks of North Carolina. So I'll be joining you probably either from my room, maybe poolside. We'll see. We'll see. We'll see what happens. But first of all, before we continue tonight, I just want to remind you about our social media channels on Twitter, Instagram, and yes, TikTok. No Creds REQ, Facebook.com/NoCreds REQ. And on YouTube, if you're watching on YouTube right now, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell. That way you know when I go live or I post a new video. And since this will be uploaded to our podcast network on both Belly Up Sports and Godzilla Media, subscribe to the podcast. For Belly Up Sports, our home base is Spreaker, but you can also subscribe on any of these platforms below, including Apple, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Amazon Music, basically any platform wherever you podcast, you can subscribe and look for more episodes. And if you're able to rate and review, if you leave a review, I may even read it on the air. If you rate it 5 stars is optimal. That way people when you rate and review, it lets people know that our podcast exists. That this podcast exists, whether a live version or if you listen a little bit later, you'll know that people will know that this podcast exists. So I'm going to keep it abbreviated tonight. I'm going to talk about baseball a little bit. Speaking of baseball, as we are a Godzilla Media product, as well as Belly Up Sports, if I just point somewhere right there, Godzilla Media, you'll know that one of our partners at Belly Up at Godzilla Media is Johnstone Supply. Since we're going to talk baseball tonight, Johnstone Supply in Troy, New York. Listen, upstate New York, it's still soupy out there. It's still hot as balls out there. You need some air conditioning. You need some central air. You need some mini splits, ductless mini splits. Johnstone Supply, they are your guys. Whether it's Tom, Mike, George, all those guys down in the 6th Avenue in Troy, or at johnstonesupply.com, they got you covered. You get the Fujitsu mini splits, get the John Goodman AC systems. They have it all for you. So go ahead, check them out, johnstonesupply.com. You can also visit them in Troy, New York on 6th Avenue. And they'll also have their website. They'll also have their phone number. So give them a call, email them, and also visit them on Facebook. So yeah, we're going to talk about a little bit about baseball. And I have some concerns about the New York Yankees. They're currently playing the New York Mets, and as we speak, last I saw they were up 2-0 in the third after the third inning, and currently it is 3-0 Yankees, top 6. Domingo Germán's on the mound for the Yankees. It's a sad state of affairs right now if you're a Yankee fan, because they started the season so hot, so on fire, and they have lost 5. They're 5-15 in the month of August, and what was an insurmountable lead in the American League East, I believe, is now down to only 7.5 games. At one point, they were up 14.5 games, 14.5, 15 games. Now that lead is whittled down to 8.5, 7. So it's very concerning. But then people say, "Oh, it's there's really no rhyme or reason to it." Part of it's Cashman's messing up with the chemistry. Part of it is there's just a pitching. It's just bad. Whatever's going on. I have 3 reasons why. I believe there are 3 reasons why there are the Yankees are doing so bad. And we got a comment. Happy belated birthday, Ryan. Thank you, Tim Capper of the Alouettes Flight Deck podcast. I really do appreciate you. If you're a fan of the CFL, if you're a fan of the Montreal Alouettes, Tim Capper, Cliffy D, they got you covered. So yes, my birthday was on Saturday. I I am 29 with 16 years of experience. So there you go. So yeah, I've got three reasons why the New York Yankees right now aren't winning, and it comes down to these three things. Number one, nobody's pitching to Aaron Judge. Aaron Judge was a wagon. The dude was a wagon for a good majority of the year. Right now he's playing, he's betting on himself. He wants to earn himself a huge contract. He wants to stay in the Bronx. The Yankees aren't willing to pay him 45 million dollars a year, however many millions of dollars he wants with these ridiculous Major League Baseball contracts, because there's no salary cap in Major League Baseball. So he's betting on himself, as he should, as any athlete should. You bet on yourself, you're going to have a huge year, and you're going to make yourself a lot of money in free agency. And that's what he's doing. He's up to 44, 45 home runs, if I'm not mistaken. The last time he hit a home run was last Sunday. Or was it 2 weeks ago Sunday? I can't remember the exact time he was hitting home runs. But nobody's pitching to him. And that's wise of them to do, because he's clobbering the crap out of the ball right now. So nobody's throwing to Aaron Judge. And Aaron Judge is the catalyst of that Yankee offense. If he's not hitting home runs, and now there's Giancarlo Stanton, we'll get to him in just a moment. But if he's not hitting home runs, if he's not the impetus of the Yankee offense, then they're not going to score many runs. I mean, yeah, they had that 8-7 win against Tampa Bay last week, but that was an extra innings. It was a walk-off by Josh Donaldson, who has been playing, who hasn't been swinging the bat or playing. He's playing decent defense, but he's not playing great offense. He's well past his prime. He's well past his days with the Blue Jays, where he's absolutely smacking the ball out of the park. But yeah, one big home run doesn't make a whole season, and it hasn't made a whole month either, because the Yankees only have won 5 games this month. Period. Absolute period. There's no excuse. And finally, I saw some emotion from Aaron Boone after Saturday's game, where they absolutely had chances to score some runs, and they couldn't. Shut out. They were absolutely positively shut out. And they had opportunities to score runs, and they couldn't do it. And Aaron Boone finally had a public outburst of emotion. But waiting to see that all year. I mean, I just had one myself. But waiting to see that all year, where he's smacking the table saying we had chances. We were going to win this game. We got to get this right. And the Yankees responded. They responded with a 4-2 win yesterday against Toronto on Paul O'Neill Day. So, yeah. But again, Judge, nobody's throwing at Aaron Judge, because opposing teams know exactly what he's capable of, and therefore their response is, we're not going to throw to you. We're not going to throw to you. And if we throw something, it's going to stay in the park. So they're going to stay in the park, or it's going to be ground out or fly out. It's going to stay within the boundaries of this ballpark. Number 2, Giancarlo Stanton. We saw what he could do in the All-Star game, where he had that monster home run, and he was named All-Star MVP. And he's also been having a pretty good season up until July 23rd, when all of a sudden he went MIA. We don't know where he went. We know where he went, but we just don't know exactly where he was. Where's Giancarlo Stanton? I don't know. He's somewhere. Some are saying he had a mysterious illness, but it turns out he had a strained Achilles. And this was my one concern. This has always been my big concerns with the Yankees since 2019, when he had lost all those games. All those man games were lost, but they still wound up going to the American League Championship Series. Almost, was one change up by Aroldis Chapman away from making it to the World Series. Come on, man. You throw gas. You're throwing a changeup, 84-mile-an-hour changeup to Jose Altuve. He's going to kill that ball. Anywho, these two, the Judge and Stanton, are made out of glass. For I don't know how they are, but they're just made out of glass, and especially Stanton. And Stanton, we know what we can do. We know what he's capable of when he's healthy. Judge, praise the Lord in heaven, pass the biscuits, knock on wood, fingers crossed, has been healthy all year. And we know what he can do. We're seeing what he can do when he's healthy. We know what Giancarlo Stanton is capable of when he's healthy. And of course, he's been gone for a month. He just began a stint in Double-A Somerset. Supposedly he'll be back tomorrow. He'll be back in the lineup tomorrow. And Judge can't hit unless somebody's protecting him. Giancarlo Stanton's been protecting him all season. Giancarlo Stanton, DJ LeMahieu, they've been protecting him all year in the batting lineup. And when they're not healthy and things aren't going right, you can't protect Judge. And you can't rely on Aaron Judge as your complete offense. The top 6 are great. The bottom 3 have been kind of especially at catcher. With the exception of Jose Trevino, who was an all-star, got his first all-star hit back in July. But even he's been, you need another catcher to help out with batting. Higashioka's been kind of weak. He had a pretty good spring training, but he's been weak at bat this year. And you need every single player in the offense to contribute. And when Giancarlo Stanton's out, he's unhealthy. If he's not healthy, if nobody's throwing the ball at Judge, if nobody's protecting Judge, the rest of the lineup goes flat. Now, you could also say, oh, it's the Joey Gallo curse. I got the Joey Gallo curse on you. No. I mean, Brian Cashman does things for a reason during the trade deadline. He brought in Andrew Benintendi. He brought in Harrison Bader, who's currently out of the lineup in a walking boot for Jordan Montgomery, and he's won his first 3 starts as a Cardinal. I thought that was a huge mistake. But yeah, with Giancarlo Stanton out of the lineup, and he can't protect Judge, and nobody else in the lineup can seem to protect Judge. Nobody's throwing to Judge, and therefore the offense has just gone south. And again, with the exception of that 8 runs they scored last week against Tampa in the extra innings game, but that was on a home run. And the one thing the Yankees lineup with Aaron Boone as their manager has faulted. The one fault that this offense has under Aaron Boone is that if they're not hitting home runs, they're not scoring runs. And you can only depend on analytics for so long with trajectory and all that nerdy stuff that I don't understand, because even my huge brain can't comprehend mathematics sometimes. But you cannot just depend on the long ball. And I get it. It's the Yankees. They're the murderers row. They're the Bronx Bombers. They hit home runs, and that's all you expect them to do. No. You got to find ways to win. You got to find ways to score runs. And it can't be exclusively because of the long ball. So Aaron Boone's got to find some way to win. And thirdly, the third reason why the Yankees have been struggling lately is their pitching, particularly the starting rotation. And you pick up Frankie Baseball from Frankie the Yankee from Oakland. He's been flat. Nestor Cortez has been continuing to have a good season. Garrett Cole, who was brought in as the ace, is not playing like an ace, and he's not acting like an ace. He's lost his last 6 games. I believe his ERA somewhere in the mid to high 3s. I didn't have a lot of time to prepare this for this live stream. Again, this is a very abbreviated version. So if you're watching tonight, thank you for watching. Plus, I didn't watch a whole lot of sports this weekend because of my birthday, and it's just other things in life happening right now. I haven't had a whole lot of time to research, but Garrett Cole's being paid by an ace. He's being paid like he's an ace, and he's not being an ace. Last year, he demonstrated some of that ace. He demonstrated some of that ace-like quality. He has those ace-like qualities, but he struggles. So for some reason, pitchers or batters seem to figure him out, and they light him up. Saturday was no exception. He had a decent game, but he got no run support. And when your ace is doing all those things, like, hey, DeGrom a couple of years ago. Remember Jacob DeGrom with the Mets was having a Cy Young award-winning season, but he kept losing games, or Mets kept losing games for him because they couldn't produce runs for him. And I think that's part of the problem with Garrett Cole. Yeah, he's the default ace because he's being paid like an ace, but he's not putting up ace-like performances, and the Yankees aren't scoring enough runs for him. Nestor Cortez, again, he's doing a decent enough job. Jameson Taillon, he's had his ups and downs this year, and they got to find a way somebody's got to establish themselves as the alpha in that pitching rotation. Right now, it's Nestor Cortez because he hasn't been struggling as much as Garrett Cole. It's a 1A and a 1B ace. There is no ace. There's no set ace in the lineup like Houston has with Justin Verlander. There is no, and that's what it's going to take for the Yankees to get through Houston should they meet in the ALCS. There's no alpha in that lineup right now, and that pitching rotation right now. Somebody he needs to establish themselves as an alpha. Whether it's Cortez, whether it's Cole, whether it's Taillon, whether it's Frankie the Yankee, I don't care. Somebody's got to establish themselves as the alpha, as the paterfamilias of that rotation. And it's got to happen soon. You've got 2 months left in the season. You got a month and a half left in the season. Somebody's got to establish themselves in the lineup as the ace. And if they can't do it this season, that looked record setting, that looked amazing for the first 3 months, April, May, June, July, for the first 4 months of the year. The team that looked amazing the first 4 months of the year, that season, you're going to be either going to be a wild card, you're going to be beat in the divisional round, you're going to be beaten in the wild card round, you're going to run into a hot team in the wild card, a hot team in the the ALDS, or you're going to run into the Houston Astros in the ALCS. And that long World Series streak is going to end. That World Series drought is going to continue. You're not going to go to the World Series. I'm surprised Aaron Boone still has a job. And I know Brian Cashman just came out today and said, I have high confidence in Aaron Boone as a manager. Well, he's not doing the job. Yankee fans were furious when he was given a new contract at the end of last season. They wanted to see change as manager. His contract was up at the end of last season, and Cashman and the Steinbrenner family had enough confidence to give Aaron Boone another contract, and he hasn't been doing the job that he's supposedly wanted to do. So those are my 3 reasons why, and a little bit long-winded there, so I apologize for that. But yeah, those are my 3 reasons why the Yankees haven't been winning as of late. They're that's why they've only won 5 games in the month of August. And this is usually the month where they get hot. They usually get hot around August. And I think I figured around end of July, they were starting to struggle. I figured, okay, every team has its bump in the road, especially when they're on this kind of pace. But all of a sudden, August comes along and that bump, and then it just seems to continue. They run into flats. They run into nails on the road, and they deflate themselves, and all of a sudden they are where they are now. So I'm hoping they turn it around. Judge needs to get hit again. Stan needs to come back and protect Judge, and also somebody needs to establish themselves as the ace, as the alpha in that starting rotation. So those are my 3 reasons why the Yankees haven't been the way the Yankees have struggled lately. So those are my 3 reasons. Agree, disagree? Let me know in the comments. Let me know on social media, and we'll talk about it. So I got about 8 minutes left before we end this abbreviated version of No Credentials Required. So let me tell you right now about intheclutch.com. It's a website. They feature lots of really great sports tees. They're affiliated with the Major League Baseball Players Association, the Major League Soccer Players Association. They are endorsed. So whichever player, if they make a t-shirt that's officially licensed, so they get individual players, they get teams, they get cities, you name it, they got a great amount of t-shirts. I just ordered my Zach Wilson Word to Your Moms, They Came to Drop Bombs t-shirt. I'm hoping it'll be here before I leave on vacation on Friday night. So hopefully it'll be here and I'll be able to wear it on the beach. But you can get your t-shirt, your awesome t-shirt, wherever you are, at right here in theclutch.com/no creds. You enter no creds at checkout and you save 10% on your order. It'd be great if you stop there, order yourself a t-shirt with that code, support the show. That's one way to support the show, other than subscribing, listening on podcasts, subscribing on YouTube, and buying a t-shirt. So NFL preseason, I'm going to watch the Jets after I'm done here, so I'll discuss that a little bit more. I got a chance to watch a little bit of the Baltimore-Arizona game last night, and I totally forgot the Cardinals were playing. I was thrown off by their black helmets. I was like, who is Baltimore playing? Because I know Baltimore has the black helmets, but I forgot Arizona. A bunch of teams this year have the black helmets. I know the Jets have the stealth black uniform, but they're also incorporating a stealth black helmet this year, which is pretty cool. But a lot of teams are doing the black. I know the Bengals are doing the black stripes, but white shell for their helmet instead of the orange shell. Some people don't like it. I happen to be a fan of it. I like it. I dig it. It's a great color scheme. And it also, you also think of Siberian tigers. So I watched a little bit of that game last night. I wasn't, a lot of teams are keeping their starters out, and that's a good reason. And then it's a good thing. Why? It's a good thing. It's a good thing, especially see what happened last Friday night with Zach Wilson, that having that non-contact injury. Thank the good Lord above. He didn't have a serious injury. He'll be in the lineup probably. I'd suspect week 3. The Jets held a lot of their starters out tonight. Quinnen Williams is not playing. Joe Flacco's not playing. Carl Lawson, he's not playing. A lot of their veterans aren't playing tonight. The rookies are playing. Mike White's in the lineup. If you're watching the Jets game right now, you'll get a heavy dose of Mike White and Chris Streveler tonight. And I'm kind of curious to see if Mike White's going to be traded after this preseason, because he's had himself a pretty good camp. And Chris Streveler led the Jets to a victory last week against Philadelphia. So I wonder if the Jets are going to trade Mike White, get themselves some more draft capital, and keep Chris Streveler as their third quarterback. And Streveler's not a bad quarterback either. He played in the Canadian Football League. I remember him playing in 2019 during the Winnipeg Blue Bombers Grey Cup run. He was part of that run package. He did some gadget plays here and there. He's a good quarterback, and he's a big dude. He's got size, he's got strength, he's got running ability, and I think he could be the third quarterback in this Jets lineup. But the one concern I had for the Jets going into this year compared to last year they gave up a crap ton of big plays. And again, granted, they don't have all their starters in the lineup tonight, but I've already seen that they've given up 2 big plays a 52-yard play and a 30 some-odd yard play against the Atlanta Falcons of all teams. They kept their majority of their starters in the lineup tonight, but the Jets had some joint practices over the weekend, and I guess the Jets had their way with the Falcons. So Falcons are probably getting themselves the measure of revenge. But it's still early in the game. Hopefully the Jets can win this one. We'll see what kind of I know the cut downs are coming tomorrow, which is Tuesday. If you're listening, it's on Tuesday. You'll see some names that'll be probably cut from the lineup. Not notable names, but by the time September the 7th comes around, or September 8th comes around, I'll have to whittle it down from I believe 80 to 53. So they'll have their 53-man lineup coming out next week, or the week after, excuse me. So, all right. So I'm going to end things here on this very abbreviated version of No Credentials Required. Again, it's presented by Belly Up Sports and Association locally in the Albany area with Godzilla Media. Again, find our social channels, TikTok, Instagram, Twitter, at NoCredsREQ, Facebook.com/NoCredsREQ. If you're watching on YouTube, hit subscribe, hit the notification bell. That way you know when videos are uploaded, or you'll be notified that I'll be going live. And again, next week I'll be on location, probably poolside, hopefully poolside, in North Carolina, the Outer Banks. Next Monday, I'll also be doing my appearance on Snowman in the Morning, my Coffee with McCarthy segment, 8:35 Eastern time. Watch it. It's a fun time. It's a fun time, and we'll leave it at that. So thanks for watching or listening to No Credentials Required, where you don't need a press pass to talk sports. I'm Ryan McCarthy. I've been your host. We will catch you again next week. Take care.